Hey everybody, this is James from Fuel Stop Chats. Today we're going to talk about tying down a motorcycle, specifically the K1600 BMW, which you see right there. I usually don't trailer. I do like to ride my motorcycle where I'm going, but from time to time I do take a trailer. I don't own a trailer, so one of the things that I do use is U-Haul. This specific model right here is a 9-foot by 5-foot trailer. They usually allow this one to go one way. And to give you a price point reference, I rented this one in Bryson City, North Carolina yesterday, and picked it up yesterday. Drove it down to Tampa. I have it for 4 days. It was $103. So as you can say, it's a lot cheaper to rent it than buy it unless you're going to use it all the time. I use a trailer maybe once, twice a year. I don't like to use them too much, but then again, riding through Florida in 90-degree weather is usually not my favorite thing to do if it's just going to be interstate riding the entire day. So I'll go ahead and rent one from time to time. But in this video, we're going to talk about tying down a motorcycle and a trailer. With this one, as you'll see in here in the future, it's tied up in the front underneath the fairing, and not on the forks where you would normally tie in a motorcycle up here on the handlebars. We're going to get into all that here in a minute, so enjoy the video. So for ratchet straps, what I prefer to use are these Reese Secure. I think I got those at Home Depot. What I like about them is they're all contained into one. When you want to loosen it up, you can just press the red button. They're not really long, but they're long enough for a motorcycle. So maybe 6 feet. Let's see here. I'm 5'7", so yeah, 6 feet from ring to ring. What's nice is when you're ready to tighten these on, you loop them onto your bike. They've got this red button right here. And when you press that red button, it automatically takes the slack out. So you can put these on in the trailer, push the red button, and it takes all the slack out, which helps tighten it up. It's better than just sitting there and ratcheting on it. Now when you're ready to, you get this all ready to go, you press the button to release it, tighten it into place. When you lock it in, it's locked in. It's not going anywhere until you hit the red button again, and then it opens up. All right, so the bike is in the video, or the bike is in the trailer, as you can see, sitting on its kickstand. What I've already done is I've tied down in the back. I find a good support area in the frame, which is right here. I tie those back ones in. On the front, I tie in the front. Now with this, on the K1600, it's going to be tied in up here underneath because it's got a single shock in the front. So you can tie to the handlebars if you want to, but it's sort of difficult because it's not a normal handlebar setup. I also have the tie down that goes from grip to grip, but I find that it has gone through some of the grips on this. As you can see, I need new grips as it is right now, but with heated grips it can get expensive, so I try not to use that one as it has ripped up. This one right here, you can see where it's all ripped up from the crossbar grip. On a normal motorcycle, you can put it on the handlebars and tighten down. The one thing that will cause a problem with this is you're not stabilizing that front wheel. So that's why I use the rears. You put the bike in the trailer, leave it on the kickstand, put it in gear. This way it's not rolling around, especially with this. If it's in neutral, when you tighten in, that front wheel could turn and it'll pull the bike, especially if you're not using rear ties. While it's on the kickstand, I'll go ahead and I'll bring some tension on the front right here. You just give it a little bit of tension, not a lot, because you're going to be pulling it over straight. Now that you've got some tension on that, you can start to pull tension on the other side, which we'll do real quick, and that'll straighten out the motorcycle. There we go, we got some tension. So now we'll start to bring it over. Make sure that the other side is still locked in. You can see it's still on that D-ring down there. And we'll pull it tight. All right, as you can see, the fronts are now tight. We locked them in place. So check the tension. Let's see. It's really not moving too much. the bike is pretty straight up. You want to make sure that the bike is in a riding position of straight up and down, so it's not having too much weight on one side or the other. Once you have those in place, we'll lock in the backs. All right, so the backs are tightened down. You don't want to really go in the center. You want to make sure that you're going behind the bike and in front of the bike, pulling the tension on the bike to lock it in place. Once that's all done, you always want to make sure you put up the kickstand, because if one of those ratchet straps should pop and it falls over, you don't want that counter of the kickstand to stop the bike from falling over and just resting on the pole. It could kick it up and over the side. Also, depending on what kind of floor you have, the kickstand could actually go through the floor on a wooden trailer. Now, with other bikes that you're tying down on the actual handlebars, you want to be able to push down on the front and lock it in. Not too much, because you don't want to bust the seals on the shocks as you put it in there, but enough to where the front is not bouncing around. I also advise, once you have it in the trailer, do a little ride. Go around the block, go up and down the road, wherever you're at, and make sure that there's a little bit of bouncing to make sure that the straps stay in place. Because a lot of times what you'll have on these cheaper straps, I have the cheaper straps in the back, is sometimes where this ratchet is right here through this loop, it'll get loosened and pop over the side without you even knowing it, and now you have a strap off of here. I just came down from Bryson back to Tampa, and that was one of the things. When we put it in the trailer, we took it around the campground that we were staying at, once around, did a loop, came back, and actually this one was actually popped. Put the tension on there, make sure it's good, and of course, as you're traveling, always check it. Anytime you stop for gas, make sure that everything's good, and keep an eye on it when you're driving. Make sure that it's upright, that it doesn't shift, and that everything is locked in place. Now, when it's time to take the bike out and you got into your destination, before you loosen up, you always want to make sure that you put the kickstand down and then loosen on the reverse side. So we'll go ahead and put the kickstand down over here. If we loosen on this side, the bike's just going to fall over on its side. But with the kickstand down, we can release tension on this side, and the bike will move over to the kickstand. It's always good to hold on to the bike while you're doing so. So let's set the camera here for a second. I don't know if you can see me, but you're probably going to see the sky here in a minute. Now let's see here. And that's it. Take the ratchet straps off, get the bike out, and enjoy your ride. As always, like and subscribe. Listen to the podcast, reach out to us, and hope to see you soon out on the roads. Be safe. Bye.